Hi, and welcome to Mimir Global and this series where we're looking at resilient leaders across the world. Today, we're going to be speaking with Chance, who is in China, Guangzhou, China. And of course, the purpose of this series is to connect with leaders out there and hear what is it that they're doing during this crisis to kind of reinvent, or what is it they're doing? Is it positive for their business, or are they having obstacles they hadn't planned for? And how do they actually overcome all of these obstacles out there? So today, let's welcome Chance, and I will let you introduce yourself. So if you'll be happy just to explain a little bit about yourself and your company, and over to you.
Thank you, Matty. Yep. Thank you, Matty. Yeah, happy to join the show. And also, one of the first, interviews that I have. I already went through quite a few, but this is also the first time that I got someone from the Nordic country to talk about that. My name is Chance Jiang. I'm entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. I've been running my company Chatek since 2016. We specialize on IoT design, development, and solution consulting. We are practically a technology company. Yeah, we connected the devices to software system, and then in turn connected to whatever services that you mentioned. So yeah, this is what we do.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much, Chance. And how has this global crisis impacted you as a leader?
Well, there are many fronts that I would like to recap. Over the past few months, right? We've been, last year, 2019, it was a great year for our business. We closed quite a few big deals, and then we keep going. And also we have some major partnerships that, major partner that we have been working with. Starting, after COVID-19, obviously, all these changes, different projects that we engage in, customers, they all face their own, their own problems and challenges in terms of financing, also in terms of breaking the ground, and that, one way or another, we are kind of reviewing everything. It's like suddenly the COVID-19 put us all back into this bubble where we need to reconsider everything. So there are many exercises having on almost all these project or partner we are working with. They've been through the same exercises, reviewing strategy, reviewing resource, reviewing expectations. Also personally, everybody in the team also need to adjust personally and also professionally to prepare. And luckily, we've been, working on a remote manner as a remote team since 2016. So COVID-19 haven't actually posed as a, big threat to, our way of working. But on the other hand, we realized that, the way we've been working it has becoming more and more popular among, not just the tech sector, but that mode of working and that mentality of remotely being together has been expanded to the entire world because of COVID-19. Yeah, and that also pushed us to think a lot more on how we can keep going with the existing customers, and also how we can keep engaging customers that are not in the tech sector but maybe in many service sector who are actually actively seeking technology, methodology, the way to work together or more efficiently engage their customers, and and hopefully can make it through this crisis.
Okay, Aidan, thank you very much for your insight there. So what other tools, did you have any tools you used to stay resilient and to kind of get through this? What I was hearing was that you didn't really feel that there was the biggest impact because actually you were already used to this kind of working, even though there are strategies and maybe customers and other people that might be impacted by that you had to adapt to. What made you, what tools did you use to stay resilient?
Well, there are, firstly, it's about, it's not actually about the technical tools. I think firstly, it's about the belief that, this COVID-19 is something that, tragic that, kind of imposed on the entire human race, right? So the people, fundamentally, as a people, right, regardless of gender, nationality, the desire to work, to make wealth, to create something valuable, it hasn't changed. It's just that the overall, environment, or shall we call the biological environment, actually had a drastic change that forced all of us, to rethink and to shelter in place, right? So it, on the other hand, right, in terms of tools, I would suggest we all, think about our spiritual tools in the first place, and also actually looking a little bit deeper, learn how to pause, and also learn how to regain your inner voice, in this time of crisis. And I do appreciate, right, what Matty, you've been doing, right, as a life coach and on many fronts. I join your events, so I believe that these are I'm a tech guy, right, but I'm not addictive to a particular technology tools myself. But what actually drive my my everyday thinking and belief is all about this mental psychic power, this mental power that keeps me going. So based on those, there are many practical tools in terms of technology and software that we've been using as a technology company. Typically in a software company, we have a very we had habits collectively among the team. For example, we have been running on calendar, right? We have a really good calendar habit where whatever matters in our job, right? Whatever work that we're going to do, we plan out per project by project, right? All these events that need to happen in the future, put them on calendars. So in terms of technology tools, having a good calendar, events, keeping them in order is probably the absolute minimum. I mean, particularly under COVID-19, you may not have that habit before, right? You had a notebook, you have all these, but after but when human beings are being forced to shelter in place, all these social networking have to be I mean, almost 99% of them have to be virtual. So imagine, right, you go out there in a normal situation, you go out there, you meet a lot of people, you are actually living and working in a physical social networks, different social networks, they intertwine with each other. But during COVID-19, you are forced to virtualize all your social network, being flattened, right, on this virtual cyberspace. So practically, that also means that if you feel kind of stranded, it probably means that you haven't figured out how your previous social networks, how to engage them further in the cyberspace. So that also means that if you haven't been busy enough with calendaring, doing this planning for your work and job, you may be in trouble because of because you don't plan well ahead for all the events, virtual events that happen, right? Video calls. Do you have enough video calls planned out? Do you have all these jobs and tasks that you wrote down as an entry in your calendar? So those are fundamental questions. And also, secondly, for sure, it's about what make up your job, right? So professional service provider also had a certain kind of resilience to this COVID-19 situation, because basically what profession you're doing is actually engaging people on a daily basis. You coach people, you teach people, right? You interact with your users, your students. So in a sense, previously maybe some people, they are not on this profession before, but now it's time to consider whether for example, if you're at a manufacturing job, right? Is it possible to engage also in this virtual kind of knowledge sharing, events or activities or things like that keep, make your time and efforts valuable to other people. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, for the driving force that pushed me forward during this COVID-19 crisis is like, it's all about, even under this situation, in what are my core business, it practically hasn't changed. But what changed is that I need to think, more in terms of what are the partners that I can help, who are the people around me that I can keep supporting and and also maybe spend time with them. Keep yourself busy. Yeah. So practically this is, I mean, what actually drives me is the intention to think about, how to help people, how to help people in the first place, my partner, my customer, my users, and also help, maybe a little bit larger community to keep, output something valuable for them to consume. And in this time of crisis, it's all about digital, right? you need to think of the skill and the strategy and the theme that, that you're actually comfortable working on, and then spend your energy focusing on them, keep yourself busy. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing here is that there's some of the, to just very quickly summarize, is that some of the strategies you say to stay resilient is to make sure you have your habits of having all your online platforms, your meetings, everything in place. And then also to merge that with the spiritual and the relationships, which is all of a sudden moved from the in-person to the cyberspace, and to actually start to engage more online in a social manner as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
exactly.
Then also like using that more spirituality to actually just stay more grounded and help the people, and actually show more gratitude and more actually being helpful, reach out to people and actually support people around, so everyone can kind of support each other in a crisis like this. So that's the
Exactly.
kind of tools you've been using to stay resilient as a leader.
Exactly. I mean, it's for sure you personally, I mean, everybody will, could be in a crisis situation. For example, your financing, your paycheck, your bill, right? All these stuff. But around the world, right, particularly in the democracy country or the developed countries, you have more options, right? You have government aid or all these, giveaway, right? So also, if you're in danger of those, support, right? Make sure that you check all the available options and get ready for, this is, now we're in the rainy days, right? But I believe that all good governments, they're all in action. They're all working hard to help their citizens, whether you're in US or developed countries, or even in developing countries. So make sure that, the family, your health, everything, you have the bare minimum to keep going, I mean, even in China, right? We don't enjoy the same amount as, of support for from the government, but still we have some. So we need to, think about how company and business can be properly financed, right? Even consider some loans, right? To get it through. Yeah. I mean, also be very, candid and prudent in terms of, how much you want to, get, right? Because you also need to consider if, them are kind of, low interest debt or something. Yeah. But you still need them, right? In this time of crisis. I believe that on a personal level, this is also true, right? Because at the end of the day, it's what matters is your health, your ability to work and, serve other people. And it's not the cash, right? The cash is easy, right? Nowadays the banks, everybody are so eager to lend you money, right? So it doesn't matter to incur some debt at this time of crisis. It doesn't matter. What it actually matters is like everybody. If it's for your family or it's for your company, you just do the right amount of debt, so that when a better time comes, you'll be quickly to come back and be cash positive in some future day. So it doesn't this is all about thinking about in terms of the value, preserving your capacity, preserving your own company, your team, or your personal energy and psychic energy and the value, the ability to produce and add value to others.
So it sounds a little bit like you've probably gone a little bit into my fourth question here, but which is about what would you say to leaders or business owners out there who may find it hard in this moment of time? So some of these things is that sometimes maybe it is a good idea to maybe get a bit into debt and actually just keep yourself as safe and secure while you're weathering the storm. And then when we get out of it, you can easier grow again. It becomes easier to grow as long as you can find the right tools that you need, which of course each individual will be the expert on in their business. Is there anything else you would like to add to that, to anyone who might be sat out there and thinking, oh, I'm not quite sure what to do next?
I think, yeah, as I frame, we call them the financial model to get through this. I think maybe you are already, maybe you have been an employee, mindset before, right, on your job, or yeah, and then you're living on a paycheck up month after month. But this time of crisis, it actually help a lot if you think more in terms of, yourself as an investor, as a entrepreneur, that kind of spirit. Try to be in their mind, so that you and also look in the longer term, with the remaining of your years, your life. And then if you're thinking along that line, you will suddenly get the enlightenment, that even this is last for 2 or 3 years, it still doesn't matter, right? As long as you have government support, this kind of bank and all this support, maybe 2 or 3 years later, you'll be in better shape. And also use this precious shelter in place time to engage in more intellectual challenging jobs and tasks, and maybe pick up some skill you never imagined before, for example programming, right? So these are all these opportunity there, normal people might not see. It's all about doing and breaking the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds, thank you very much, Chance, for all of your input here, because what I'm hearing here is entrepreneur mindset, which of course is something which excites me, because that's something I think everyone should grow. Even if, as you say, if you sat at the moment on a salary, really adapt that growth kind of entrepreneur mindset where you're thinking in different ways, seeing actually what service do you provide to your employer, what is it that you can do to develop yourself, what skill sets do you need. And I know that you're a very techie background, and I know that I have some, I really believe in the tech side as well. And I can see, having lived in China for many years, or for the last 8 years, I understand how fast the tech is growing in China. And now in Denmark, I kind of feel that everything has slowed down, not only because everyone is at home and things are quieter, but in general, I feel that the speed and pace in Denmark, even in the entrepreneur circles, it is not the same speed. So it's interesting, the kind of skills that I personally believe that also we need in the future is things like programming. We need the tech side. And then on the other hand, which also you came in to mention, was like the more spiritual side, the more mental side. So these two skills, which of course the mental side and the more emotional intelligence side and coaching side, which I think is the tools, those merged with programming and tech side, is really what the future needs. And that's not just me. It's like we need to look at lots of World Economic Forum and lots of other future work reports. These are the skills. It's either the tech or the mentals, the things like thinking skills. It is very much like, how do we use that brain and how do we grow it in these times? So great insight from you, Chance, and thank you very much for being part of this interview series.
Yep,
Anything
pleasure to be.
Thank you very much, Chance, and I hope to catch up with you soon.
Sure, yeah, catch up soon.
Yeah, take care.
Bye.
Make sure you follow Mimir Global social media. We are on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and WeChat. I look forward to engaging with you so you can perform in a world of change.